At long last, we have a wide-angle 9mm prime lens in the Lumix lineup. It's something I've wanted for a long time, and I know a lot of people have as well. I think this lens is going to be very well received if it ticks everyone's boxes. Now, everyone's boxes are different, but my criteria is small and light, very sharp, rectilinear, I love that word, and great for vlogging. I want it to be good for video and photo, so I want it to hold focus and I want it to not be jello-y. So I'm going to go around Liverpool today and test it out as a little vlog and a photo shoot and put it through its paces. I think the 9mm focal length on Micro Four Thirds is lovely. You can see enough of the background without it being claustrophobic like this. So I'm going to go on a tour of all the cool places in the city that I can think of where this lens will be fun to use, starting at the library. And I'm hoping I won't get kicked out because I'm literally going in there as a tourist. I'm going to see what I can film with my Instago. I'm heading to Cathedral number 1. Now the architecture in here is amazing and I think this lens is really going to shine. It's such a beautiful, beautiful building and juxtaposed so well with the next cathedral I'm going to go to, which is the more modern one. And then it was off to the more modern cathedral for some photos inside. There's a little bit of construction going on, so I didn't stay here for very long, but I do like the colours in here. The lens just opened up so many possibilities for compositions. It's such a fun lens to play with. I'm using this lens review as a complete excuse to be a tourist. I've worked in Liverpool for years and I've never actually been up the Library building, so it's the perfect excuse to give that a go today. This image of my reflection is one of my favourites of the day. I just think it's really abstract. I absolutely love the time lapse as well. We weren't allowed tripods at the top, so I just had to balance it on the edge. And this image of the Liver building with a crane and the city tower on either side of it, sort of making a triangle, I think is a really nice composition. So far I have to say that using this lens has been an absolute joy. The focus has been snappy, everything looks really sharp. I love the Lumix Leica colours. It's very light, very easy to use. It puts a smile on my face. You know, in my reviews there's always that intangible, do I enjoy it? Does it spark creativity sort of criteria? It's not just a tool for me, and I think this definitely is a fun lens to use. I've had a smile on my face all day using it. And I have to say, the vlog stuff looks good without too much of the Johnny Jello. Just walking around with the camera like this, just holding the bottom of the camera, seems to be working really well. So I think I've discussed about as much as I can without pixel peeping on the computer. So I'm going to pass you over to Future Emily, and she's going to give you the lowdown. Future Emily, it's up to you. Thank you, Past Emily. So, first of all, let's talk about size and weight. I've mentioned that it's very small and light, but I don't think I've conveyed just how small and light. This 9mm lens is tiny. It's only 130 grams. Now, for comparison, we have the 45mm Olympus,
which is one of the smallest lenses I own. And that's 116 grams, so there's barely anything between them. This is an incredibly small and light lens, and the benefit of that for me, aside from, you know, the obvious, is I keep a lot of lenses on hand because of the one more lens rule, as I like to call it. Even if I've packed everything, if there's a small and light lens that is creative and fun, I'll stick it in as one more lens because it doesn't weigh anything and it's a just-in-case sort of lens. And this lens, this 9mm, is definitely that. Another interesting aspect about this lens is it's classed as a half macro lens, so the minimal focus distance is super close. And when you pair this with the 1.7 aperture, it means that even though it's a super wide lens, you can get really nice bokeh as well. I passed the lens over to my photography friend Martin to see what he could make of it. See how close you can get. I'm still going. Are you on her boobies? What do you think? No, it's cute, isn't it?
It's proper, like it's incredible
It's
that it can
light.
get so close, but it's also so incredibly wide. It's not that barrel distortion.
No, it's rectilinear, my favourite word. Rectilinear.
I'm a fan.
I shot some test footage and video from this wedding, and I was really impressed by the close focus distance, and some of the detail shots were very interesting. I also managed to shoot some handheld video as well. Now, the lens isn't stabilised, so I don't know if this is more of a test of the lens or the GH6, but because the 9mm focal length is very forgiving, you can get away with some handheld video shots if your camera is stabilised, of course. Being a Lumix Leica lens, a very premium lens, it does boast that it is sharp from centre to edge, so let's have a little pixel peep now and see whether it is or not. This was the final edit, but I'm just going to reset it. And as you can see, aside from me shooting a little bit wonky, all the lines are still nice and straight. Now when you import anything from this lens into Lightroom, it will automatically fix any distortion with the profile correction that's all built in. So let's have a look. I'm just going to straighten it because it's stressing me out. Let's have a look at 400%. This is right into the edge. Not bad at all. So this one is shot at 1.7, and that was the edit, which is with my everything preset. I love the orange and green tones. It came out so nice. But this was the original straight from camera. And I'm just going to up the exposure slightly because I was exposing for the bit in the middle. You can see we do have a little bit of chromatic aberration around these lights, and the tick kind of does the job. You can probably fix it manually a little bit better. Yeah, okay, so chromatic aberration, very minimal to be fair, and this is a very, very challenging scenario, so let's have a look. Everything along the edges is nice and sharp to my eyes. Let's go to this corner. It's incredible, really. You know, this is as wide open as the lens will go, and to my eyes, it really does look nice and sharp throughout. This one is just a normal, standard RAW file, so I'm just going to reset it. You can see that I was exposing for the glass, clearly. Look how much shadow detail you can bring out in the GH6. I mean, we've come a long way, guys, we really have. So I'm just going to enable the standard profile correction. We're at f1.7, and let's have a pixel peep into the corners because we've got lots of brickwork to deal with here. I mean, come on. This lens is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I would say, in my completely unscientific pixel peep, I think the edges are completely sharp, even wide open. Incredible. So what are my thoughts and feelings on this lens? Well, for me, honestly, it's an instant buy. And I'd like to try it for astrophotography as well. I couldn't, unfortunately, with the time that I was given because it's cloudy and also a full moon, so not ideal. But I think, given the aperture and the focal length of this lens, it could be superb for astro, so I'm definitely going to check that out in the future. I can throw it in my bag just in case, and I also know that it's premium enough to use for all of its dedicated responsibilities. And can I just say, I am over the moon that Lumix are still bringing out Micro Four Thirds lenses. The system is far from stagnant and we're getting new glass to play with, which is wonderful. While you're learning about lenses, why not check out some other reviews that I've done recently of some other wonderful Micro Four Thirds lenses.